My fellow Westerners, if you liked His House or Relic, this movie should be the next one on your watch list. I know I usually save my other movie recommendations till the end of my video, but I know from the analytics that most people tend to watch about 5 minutes of my reviews. I don't know how to get people to stick all the way to the end yet. If I haven't cracked that code, I'm hoping to soon. And I just want to get the word out about this movie. Go watch this movie. It is $5 on YouTube. You can get it anywhere. It's well worth your time. I really just want to get the word out about this movie. Also, thank you to everyone who recommended I get on the Nokia app. You're right. It's fucking cool. It's cool that I can embed my reviews into it, like my YouTube videos directly into it. I can't do that on Letterboxd. So if you do have Nokia or you want to get on Nokia, it's fucking awesome. I have linked my profile down in the description. So thank you to everyone who recommended me that. You're right. It's cool. It's very cool. For everyone else who has been waiting for this review, I finally did it. I finally watched Bhoothakaalam. I know it was going to be good because so many people recommended it. I was just saving it for a time where it wasn't sandwiched in between big horror releases, which has been hard this year. I wanted to give it the time of day it deserved. And so now the big question is, what the fuck do I have to do to get Rahul Sadasivan in front of A24, Neon or Blumhouse? Like, and not because he needs them, right? He has proved with both Brahma Yugam and Bhoothakaalam that he is perfectly fine working in the Malayalam cinema space. He's making banger after banger. But I'm doing that because they need him, right? There is a lot of chatter especially in horror, talking about how we need diversity, we need more diverse voices, we need more diverse creators, and I fucking 100% agree. I 100% agree, right? Like, when you are making stories, it is really good to get those stories from a large perspective. You want to cast a broad net for that. And here we have, a person born in Kerala making really interesting and complex horror films, and he's relatively unknown in the West, right? Like, if I'm scouting for the big horror production companies, he's whose door I'm knocking on first. Like, that is who I'm going to. There is a small suite of directors where I will watch pretty much anything they do, because they've built up enough goodwill throughout the years. Del Toro is one, Mike Flanagan's another, Jennifer Kent, Veronica Franz, Oz Perkins, Sean Byrne. I am putting Jordan Peele. I'm putting Rahul Sadasivan on that list. Rahul, if you are watching, I will be buying a ticket to whatever the fuck you make next, man, because you've absolutely nailed it. Between this and Brahma Yugam, he shoots like an A24 director now, and he does it for like $1 to $3 million budget USD. It seems like a no-brainer, right? I think he'd absolutely slap with the Western marketing machine behind him. I think that's all he's missing, really. And that's only, I know his films do really well in India, but to get them good here, to get them good distribution here, it's a fucking no-brainer, right? And in case you couldn't tell, probably goes without saying, I loved this movie. I fucking love this movie. It's just a brilliant supernatural family drama that I really, really, really liked. He makes good films. He makes good, interesting films. Bhoothakaalam follows a woman named Asha and her son Vinu, who are caring for Asha's mother, who is unfortunately at the end of her life. Asha is a primary school teacher. She's sort of struggling to balance caring for her mum, caring for Vinu, paying the bills, and her own mental health struggles. Vinu's a recent graduate from his diploma of pharmacy, but he's struggling to find a job in town so that he can stay by his family and support them. However, when Asha's mother dies, basically the tensions between Vinu and Asha come to a head and they start to drift apart. And it's about this time that Vinu starts to realize that there's weird stuff going on in the house. Things are moving by themselves. He's hearing strange sounds. And we get to follow along and play. Is it mental health or is it monster? as they both rush to determine what the fuck is going on in this house. Like, what is going on in this house? And I said it in the intro, like, this movie is a banger. It's a banger. And straight off the bat, I want to give all the love in the world to Revathi, who plays Asha. What a fucking performance. Honestly, she gives absolutely everything in this role, and she plays Asha as this kind of overprotective and a little bit guilt-trippy mum at the start. And then you find out why she's like that, and it just makes you love her and care for her. And she's bearing the full brunt of this situation, right? Like, if you watch the trailer, you think Vinu's going to be the main character. For me, it was Asha. She's such a star. And, like, I'm a big mama's boy. I love my mum. I'll tell anyone that. And there is a scene where she goes down by the water and just wants to sit by the water and eat an ice cream and just try to muddle through stuff. And I just wanted to pick her up and give her a cuddle. Right? Like, they really make you feel for the characters in this movie. And Shane Nigam as Venu, he was equally as special, right? I struggled with Bobby in Kumbalangi Nights. That was just a character issue. That is no issue with the actor. You can go watch that review if you'd like. But I fucking adored him as Venu. He plays a guy that's trying so hard to fix his lot in life, but he's blocked at every turn. He's been pulled in all these different directions, and most of the time, it's not within his control, which was the difference with Bobby, right? To his character, Bobby. The back and forth between Vinu and Asha felt so real, and at points, I forgot completely I was watching a horror because I was so engrossed in the family drama that was going on, and then something a little spooky would happen off to the side, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a spooky film. Like, this is a horror. And it just goes to show you how fucking good the writing is. Like, good horror films tend to be like, really, if you took the horror out, they'd still be good films. That's a sign of a good horror film. They're just good films with a bunch of scary shit put into them. That tends to be how I like my horror. And this is definitely one of them. The spooky scenes in this are top notch. I got full body goosebumps twice. And Rahul knows how to build tension and just general unease. This is in essence a haunted house film. And while there isn't anything particularly new or, I don't want to say special, but like, there's nothing new. We've seen this before, right? We've seen the scary haunted house scenes in movies before. We've seen them 100 times. But they're just really, really technically sound in this movie. They're perfectly shot. They're perfectly constructed. Everything's made to build dread and tension and scares, and you're sort of going like, fuck, what is that? Is that in the background? You know? Like Shenad Jala, he's the cinematographer, they're the cinematographer, and they just work their ass off in this film, and it shows. Like, great use of negative space, great use of shadow, and you check the background constantly looking for like something to creeping up on these characters. It's really fucking good. The sound design is top notch, and that I don't mean that just because of the background music, because I know like lots of Indian cinema has really good background music. The sound design, as the background music's great, so is this creepy sound design. There are door creaks. There are footsteps. There are scratching noises. There is everything you want in a haunted house horror film. It is in this. It is in the sound in this film. It is delivered with top tier skill. I just loved this film. I really enjoyed it. It was just straight up horror. Like, it was just really, the horror bits are just straight up. They're so good. Really, the only thing I didn't love about this movie is how long it takes to get to to finally pull the trigger. This is not a long movie. It's about 100 minutes, which is short. If you know Malayalam cinema, that's short for a Malayalam film. But the full dive into horror doesn't really occur until about 70 minutes in. There are spooky scenes before that, like it's hinted at, horrors around the place, but it is not the focus. But when it goes full horror, this movie goes into full fantastic haunted house horror, which is why I wanted more of it. I would have loved to have seen probably another 10 to 20 minutes of just scary fucking scenes because he can make them. Rahul can make them. Like, he's so talented at building and shooting spooky occurrences. I was so, like, there were scenes in this that's, like, really spiked my heart rate. They were creepy as fuck. So I would have loved to have seen more of that. I personally loved the ending. The ending is usually problematic for horror. Most horrors fuck it up at the end. You can get really good horrors and then they fuck it up at the end. Didn't do it with this. Landed for me perfectly. It really left me thinking about, like, okay, so what happens now? And it wasn't for me, it didn't feel like a cop-out or anything. This movie is 100% worth your time. Please, please, please support this film. Like I said before, it is on YouTube. It is $5 to rent. I did. It's so fucking easy to get your hands on. Please do it. It's yet another great Indian film I'm going to be championing going forward, along with Tumbat, along with Brahma Yugam, along with Avasham, along with Manumul Boys. Like, it's good Indian cinema. And not only that, it's good horror cinema. It's fucking great. I recommend watching this if you like haunted house films with family drama put into them. The Night House, Under the Shadow, Hereditary. It's not as scary as Hereditary, but it's that sort of vibe. There's lots of family drama and spooky shit going on within a family unit. If you're happy to sit through a bit of a slow burn while it fleshes out the characters, I'll say it again. Revathi gives one of the best horror mum performances ever. Ever. One of the best horror mum performances ever in any film. It's fucking great. It's brilliant. If you've never seen a Malayalam film, but you love horror and are thinking about getting into it, this is a great starting point because it is really a family drama and a horror film, like straight up horror film. It's a lot less fantasy and abstract than Brahma Yugam, say, but it is a banger. It is a banger. When the horror goes off, it's horror. It's fucking horror, man. It's full horror. I don't recommend watching this if you don't like slow burns or if you struggle to read subtitles. I know some people do. Completely understandable. But this is a subtitled film. I don't even think there's a dub for it. So it's just subtitled. I would kill to see Rahul do an episode of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. He's just so proficient at making solid horror films. And I wish him all the success in the world. I hope he blows up over here because I'm going to be a day one ticket holder for every horror he makes going forward. I'm so fucking excited. He's just good. It's just exciting horror filmmakers, man. He's one of them. He's one of them. And the West don't know him yet, but I'm fucking hoping that they do. I'm hoping that they will soon. If you like this and you want more like it, I highly recommend His House by Remy Weeks. It's another great haunted house piece. It's about a family of refugees who escape war-torn southern Sudan and get placed in low-income housing in the UK. It's creepy, and the characters are so well made. They're complex. They're strong. I fucking love it. Another good, strong female horror performance. I think it was actually my first horror movie review that I wrote ever, so it's got a bit of a soft spot in my heart. And Matt Smith's in it, and he plays a bastard in it, which is rare. You don't really see him in those roles. Another one in this vein is the Australian film Relic, directed by Natalie Erica James. It also came out in 2020, weirdly, with His House. It's about a mother and daughter who are dealing with the ramifications of caring for their elderly family member, Edna. She has dementia. She sort of disappears at the start of the film, and they sort of start noticing that the house starts to change in spooky and sinister ways since her disappearance. And it's fucking great. And it has, once again, has more strong horror performances by women. It's a fucking banger. Relic is so goddamn good. And it fits perfectly. You could do it if you want to do a triple bill. His House, Relic, Bhoothakaalam, fucking they all work. They're all bangers. Highly, 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 highly recommend. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate the shit out of you all. I really do. Any share or like or comment or whatever, I really, truly love. I'm a small channel. I just appreciate the hell out of it. And hopefully I'll see you next week for another review. Peace.